Hello, everyone. What day is it today? Welcome back to Shaman Sisters, and thank you all for joining us today. I am Nova.
And hello, I am Kabchee. And also, just a disclaimer, these are our own experiences only. And really quick, we have been getting a few messages about readings, personal readings about love lives. So I just want to throw out there that we do not offer that type of service at all, okay? So if you're looking for something like that, please seek out to a shaman you fully trust. Our topic today, we'll be talking about preparing for our first altar rising and what we did to just, gather ourselves and everything we needed together. Anova, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you did to start your first altar rising?
Well, after I accepted my calling, I was so excited that I went to go build my altar already. That really asking like what the proper etiquette or like protocol was. I didn't check in with my master prior to setting it up. So I guess that was like one of the things I should have done. And it really depends on everyone's lineage. Again, what Gachi and I are going to be talking about is going to pertain to our lineage and our experience. So this might not apply to you or maybe anyone else. I built my altar. I did go look at hers and ask kind of how like it was supposed to be built, so that way I don't like mess up anything, because that's a pretty big project. I didn't want to start over. Finding all of the shaman tools, it was really difficult to find it locally where we live.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish like more people would sell it where we live, because there's actually a very big Hmong population in our town.
Right. And I think only one particular Hmong store sells item.
Yeah. Just to throw it out there, these shaman tools are not cheap. Make sure you have money in, or you have money saved up for it, because depending on what you want and how many peers you want, and if you're looking for something particular, it can be very pricey.
Right. But then, like, we're not saying go out all at once and, drop like 2, 3 bands on it. Take your time searching for items.
The most difficult part was trying to find someone who can build a doneng, or just who was selling a doneng. That was like the most stressful part, because I got everything aligned. I got my altar. I got all of the tools that I needed. I got my things I wanted to put on my altar, but finding a doneng was very difficult. I wish we had like a classified ad. Picking out your shaman tools is actually a very special process, and it's one of the moments that I would probably never forget. The very first time when I went to go buy my first pair of guaning, it was very emotional. I think I cried in the store.
Oh, she's just a crybaby, you guys.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know how to pick it out. But from the direction from my aunt, I asked 3 times to see if the guaning is really mine. The last one, I was like, okay, if you are really mine, they're probably like, stop asking us already. If you're really mine, then you're gonna like go Osha. So it would be closed. So of course it kept, on the third try, it kept going to Luanzi, right? Like it's happy to go with me. But I was like, I want it to close, like both sides to flip down. That didn't happen, but as I said it on my very last try, my tears came out. I was like choking up. It was very emotional, and I knew at that moment that it was mine. That guaning. That is my
Yeah.
guaning. I'm gonna buy it. It's coming with me.
I was there with her, and I swear I did not remember seeing that. Maybe because I was in a moment already myself, because I was also, there for mine as well. But that's really cool. I actually did not recall seeing that. Oh, that's probably why, because I was still going through and looking for a good one. Yeah, like I said, she's
Yeah.
a crybaby.
I think if anything, when you're choosing your shaman tools, just choose carefully and listen to your inner self, like your heart,
Mhm.
how you react to it, how you hear the instrument, if it's like a drum or a chinang. Both Kachin and I feel differently when a different gong is hit. So when we went to go find the rest of our tools, our Sisyphus, he's so funny. He
He
loves hitting
is.
the gongs, but there's a certain way where he hits it and it's just like boom, like, you can feel that, like, that power surge in the gong as he was like going through each of the gong hitting it. I had to listen carefully to see if it's one that is powerful, that would help me on my journey, that would shake me, that would shake like the spirits. Really ask yourself, like, does it sound powerful? Is it something that like that gong, the sound of it, is it something that makes you want to continue, or does it sound like ding ding?
I hate that sound because,
Yeah,
um, it's just like what our Sifu said. It doesn't matter, wake the ghost up.
yeah. He was like, "Mình đó nó man tao nghỉ kiss," or something like, "Oh, tao nghỉ nghỉ." Is that how you say waist? Yeah. Um,
Yes. Yes. And that's really funny. I didn't have that experience like Nova because mine was actually given to me
so
by
lucky.
my master. So I'm just like, okay, I'll take anything you give
Yes.
because it's like
What?
blessing to me and to my guides. So I gladly took mine and I absolutely love mine. I remember being pregnant and I'm like, oh, I miss you. Out of
Yes.
everything I missed, I really missed that noise. Like it's because that's what took me on my journey and gave me my strength.
I have to say though, my Sisyphus, he is the best at hitting gongs that I've ever
Yes.
like heard.
Yes.
He's the best.
Actually, you know what? He gave me a headache this one time. I was like, "Ow, that hurts my head. What is going on?"
Well,
Uh,
it's one of the gong that he has that is just like
it sounds
boom,
so
like
good. Yes.
yeah.
But yes, he is the best. He is very awesome actually by like just learning how knowing how to listen to the drums, to the gongs,
Mhm.
and knowing which one's really good and which one's not good. And he's just so funny. Like if we can ever get him on our podcast, whenever I'm pretty sure he won't stop talking because he's so funny and he will put you guys in circles. Uh,
Like
You guys
us.
will
I think we
understand.
talk in circles sometimes.
We had a trip out of town last weekend with them, and we made him tell us stories.
Okay, first of all, it was supposed to be scary stories, but he was telling about like life lesson stories. I
She fell
fell
asleep
asleep. I was
while I was
nodding
driving.
off, and then I just like every here and there I would nod and be like, "Oh, okay, that's good." Like show him
It's
that I'm so
funny.
engaged.
He's such a good storyteller. It's so funny. His stories are funny because he will say it's kind of funny, it's kind of sad, it's kind of scary.
And then he would also preface it with, "It's a true story." True
That's
or
what he
not?
would say. He would say, "It's a true story." It's funny, what I actually, sorry, really off topic, but
Mhm.
then talking about him. So when he was explaining his stories or telling his stories to me, because I was alone awake, I was actually listening. So,
Hey, I
like,
did engage even though I was asleep.
what I liked that he did was at the end of every story, he'll say, "Emong," and that's the end of that story. I'm like, "Oh, okay." The way he said it
Yeah,
was
he's
John
like, "Cha
Minogue.
Danny no ke Tari no su or Soli
Yes,
no su," some, but in his
yes, and
old
even, like,
voice.
in between the stories, he will say, "Oh, I'm only explaining what happened before and I'll get to the story." That's what he would say just so that he knows that we aren't, like, running around like, "What is he talking about?" So that's what he did, and that was really awesome. Even though he puts us into circles, he does circle
Okay,
us
I
back in.
was asleep, but I still understood which stage he was at, and sometimes I would ask Kachi, and she was like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Because I'm just like, "Shut up." I'm just kidding. But yes, back to our topic. Sorry.
Yes. We talked about the drum. So picking out your tuning, I typically like to feel mines. I like to put it on my finger really to measure because I have huge hands. But I like to put the tuning on my fingers to make sure that it fits well. It's not too loose or too tight. And then if when I have it on both of my fingers on the side, I like to kind of listen to the
The rhythm, the
sound,
tone.
yeah, the rhythm and the
Mhm.
tone of the tuning, right? So you have to ask yourself when you're you have to ask, is it like by or is it perfect?
But really quick, do remember this, like you choosing your bells, it's it's for yourself, okay? So even though we're telling you all of this information, of how to choose a bell, remember choose what you want.
Mhm.
Whatever tone and rhythm you like, you
Yes.
go with it. You don't it doesn't matter what we say because at the end of the day, it's up to you and your guys on what
Yeah,
helps you guys through your journey, okay?
it is. And really even the design or the feel of it, or you have like such a strong feeling that you want to get it, then that's yours. Like you get that, you get that
Right.
pair of
Mhm.
Janae.
And no matter how many pairs or I mean, sorry, how many times you go into that store and you always pick up a pair each and every time, take it home. If you feel like it's yours, take it home.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I know. I always watch her buy a new pair or something. I'm like, damn, should I get a
I
new
know.
pair? But then I'm actually very picky on mine where I haven't really found another set that I really want.
Mhm.
So I haven't really purchased any because like
Yeah.
all the ones I've seen, it's kind of like, okay, that's similar to mine. I already have something like that. So I haven't really found one that really caught my eye. So I'm not like that. Very
Yeah,
picky.
I'm very picky, but I just love how some they just beat for me. So I'm like, yeah, that's nice.
Yes.
I and actually our preferences are very different. So I
Mhm.
like mines to be fast. When you're like jingling and you sit on the bench or when you stand up and then or so I like my beat to be very fast.
Incense sticks is actually a thing, okay? We okay, so Nova and I know that we have a certain sense that we like, even though, the Asian
Mhm.
stores, the monk stores, they sell a whole bunch of incense sticks, they have different brands, and they all do the same thing, but it's a certain smell that we both like. And we both actually found our certain one.
I
And when
introduced you to it.
Yes, yes. So I think that's also a big thing. I know to a lot of shamans, maybe that doesn't matter, but to me in particular, it's actually very big to me because I want it to smell good. Like as soon as I do light up my altar now, or I not and then I burn incense sticks, I love that smell. I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, it soothes me." Like, I love it. It absolutely just it smells so good. To me, it smells like a really pretty flower. That's
I
what
think
I
it's a
think.
little bit more woodsy.
I don't know. No, but to me, like, the
Oh,
way
oh,
like,
okay.
because of course, the way we smell it is different. Whatever you smell is on you. But to me, I describe it as, like, a really pretty flower.
I love it. Like it reminds you of like a flowery smell, but for me it's like a woodsy. Like I feel like I'm surrounded by nature and it's just
Yeah.
calm and it doesn't irritate my nose, nor does it irritate
Or
my
your
eyes
eyes.
because there
And
are
that's a
some
really
that,
big thing.
yeah, like pompaltakea and
Mhm.
it would hurt your eyes while you're in trance. Even when it comes down to the incense sticks, try a couple different brands, burn a couple each time, really get used to the smell, and then determine if that is right for you or not. Because trust me, it does make a difference when you're in
It
trance.
does.
Because
Mhm.
when you feel better, you can smell it and it lifts up your spirit, making you feeling more happy.
Mhm.
it makes your trance so much more better.
Yes, so much better. But really quick, just circling back to what Nova has said earlier in our podcast, talking about how it was a little bit hard for her to find, her donating. For me, if you remember, it was a lot easier.
I
So that's why I
know.
felt like it was mine. It was a lot easier, and I got a lot luckier with mine because it was there. Like, someone we
Mm,
knew had it, and that was like the last one that they had available. And when I went to test it out, I'm like, yep, I'm taking you home. So
yes.
it was a lot easier for me. And then for the building the altar, my dad had actually asked our master to measure hers before building it. So we didn't do it. Nova did. So mine's actually measured, and the measurements are on point on that one and everything. So yeah, I mean, thank goodness.
So lucky.
I know,
Um,
pretty lucky.
I had to contact somebody from Fresno, which we can share his page later on in our post. But he is such a kind and generous man. He really blessed us with good words, or me. He blessed me with really good words and kind words. I felt completely at ease and just so happy when I got my donating. So moving on, to our sword and sinning, obviously, is kind of the same. However, your sword is your whole being. So make sure when you are picking up your sword, lift up the sword and see if you feel like a rush of energy. Like, does that energy match you? Is it a powerful energy that you can control throughout your journey? Make sure you inspect it
Mhm.
from if I had a magnifying glass, that's what I would do, but
Mhm.
I don't have one. But make sure you inspect it from head to toe, that it's built the way you like it to. It's like the weight.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I'll say, I think for us, we got really lucky. Again, thank you to our aunt for helping us out with that. We did get really lucky with our sword finding the stuff to go onto our altar now. And I'm not going to go into full details about that, but I remember just, going and search for those items. I saw the set that I want. My heart dropped. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. And I just I don't really think I looked around, which I did look around, but I just kept coming back to that particular set. And you already know I took it home.
I didn't get that feeling because I didn't get a
There you go.
go. I was working. I did pick out mines and I don't regret it at all. It is me. It represents me and my guides.
And
Yes.
that's okay. Everybody has their own taste to things, own likings to things. And it just, goes back to our many podcasts of talking about how we're sisters, but we like different things.
Mhm.
Although, like, there are some common things that we share, like the same incense stick smell or whatever it is, we still have different likings onto our style.
Also, quickly before we go, okay, I have a story to share. Traveling was really difficult for me, but family and I, we decided to take a trip to Reno. I was like, okay, to protect myself, I'm going to bring my sword. So my sword is not like this tiny little thing. It's pretty big. The length of it is pretty long. I forget how long it is, but my sword is pretty long. So I packed it into the back of my trunk. And then when we got to the hotel, I hid it in my suitcase. So thank God it fit my suitcase. But also, I'm so thankful for my guides. They taught me a protection spell. So I was able to kind of not cleanse, but protect my family and I when we got to the hotel room. I'm like, everyone, stop. Don't go on the beds yet.
She is like that extra. Not that I'm saying that's it, like she's extra for doing that, but I mean her actions are very extra. Like
Yeah.
her, what is it called?
Dramatic.
Yes, she's dramatic.
I was like, "Don't go in the bed yet." And then I like did my thing and then I was like, "Okay, it's good now." But I'm very glad that I did that and I'm glad that my guides came through and helped me do I think one of our like very first like big protection spell. Okay, because come here now like during that night my kids they were asleep already and so we all shared in the same room but my husband and I shared a bed and then my kids share another bed. I fall asleep but I'm like in and out of consciousness because I'm not comfortable in this room. And first of all, the room in the hotel already like or no sorry not the hotel, the casino hotel already stinks like cigarettes. It's like everywhere. But while I'm sleeping, I feel like someone is blowing cigarette smoke into my face. It was so strong. And then I felt like someone was just right there. But I was too tired. So I was like, screw it. I don't care. I'm just going to continue to sleep. I redid my protection spell. I'm good. I just continued on sleeping. Everything was fine.
That's good to know. I remember when she called us and or called me and my other sister. She's like, I brought my sword with me. I was just like, what the heck? I was like, okay, that's good to
Yes,
know.
I
But
am
before we
so
do,
extra.
oh yes, she is. So before we do end our podcast tonight, everything that you do place or you do purchase for your altar or whatever you may be using for your shaman journey would first need to be washed or cleansed.
We'll link Go Ning's YouTube into our channel too, so you all can find it. I'll try to go find her segment or episode where she actually talked about how to wash all of your items. I think she does like a great job of explaining how to wash it and what to say. Always ask your master any questions that you may not know, like how to cleanse it and if they can do it for you. I love it when my master does it for me. It's just like a extra specialness. Don't ever feel like you can't communicate with your master or talk with your master. You have to build a relationship with them and you should hopefully once you have began, feel comfortable talking with your master and asking them any and every question. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We had a great time. Have a great day.